Hello and welcome to Pillow Talk Travel Edition. We are in Santa Barbara this week because we have clients here that are downsizing to a smaller house. I have my travel pillow today that is wrapped in a headscarf thing. It's good for hiking. I'm getting a little crafty with these pillows, and I don't usually get crafty. So, cheers to crafting. Here we are in sunny California, and over the past week we've been to 3 different locations: Santa Barbara, Palm Springs, and Joshua Tree. And funny enough, in each of those locations we've met with a different couple that is renovating. And each couple is renovating for a different reason. One couple is renovating investment properties, the other couple is renovating a getaway outside of LA, and the third couple is renovating their new home that they're downsizing into from an estate to a more manageable property. And so today's Pillow Talk is a diary of sorts, sharing the things I've learned with you. Stop number 1, Palm Springs. This couple is renovating investment properties in order to rent or sell. You could call it flipping, but these guys are doing such an amazing job with the houses. They are immaculate. That the word flip doesn't fit very well. It has lots of negative connotations. And they showed us their properties that they're renovating, and a few years ago I think I would have wanted to have their lives in a sense. What they're doing is what I thought I wanted to do, and so I was surprised when I didn't feel a desire to do what they're doing, and I had to look inward a little bit and ask, well, why is it that I don't want to be renovating properties in Palm Springs that are beautiful and make good money doing it? And so I thought about it, and the reason that I don't want to do that is that I design for individuals now. Yes, we know some of the things that potential buyer would want or like: a view of the mountains, indoor-outdoor spaces, private outdoor spaces off of each bedroom. Even knowing things like that about a buyer, which does get somewhat personal, it's not exactly the same as knowing the person that I'm designing for. So that was what I learned in Palm Springs. Location number 2 was Joshua Tree, the high desert right across from the Joshua Tree National Park. And this couple has a getaway from their normal lives in LA. And the female partner is a lighting designer. She's worked in residential, commercial, big names. She knows what she's doing, and she knows the design process. And she asked me an interesting question while we were hiking, and I was wearing this thing on my head. She said, so Mitch, where in your process do you pitch the concept to the client? And she meant that in terms of when do you win the client with the concept? And it was an interesting question because it made me realize that that is a common way to win work in the industry. You meet with a client, you come up with a concept, and you pitch that concept, and if the client likes that concept, then they sign with you, potentially. And that's not at all how we approach our client relationship. We meet with the client and we listen to them, we ask a lot of probing questions, and then we offer ideas. But what we're offering isn't a concept of what we're going to do with their property. What we're offering is a process that is centered in them. It may look more like a modern house, or more like a mid-century house, or more like a French country house. You know, the style could be anything in the end. But what we are talking about on the front end are concepts and function and layout and feeling, first and foremost. And so our process is very different. And she said, oh, I got it. It's like the lights went on for her and for me in the same moment, because that helped me understand better how I approach design. And then third location, here in Santa Barbara, we were having dinner with our clients last night, and the male partner asked the question, so Mitch, what is your plan? You have these projects, you're traveling a lot, you're creating videos, where does all of this point? And that's another video altogether. But in the conversation that followed, the female partner said, we've worked with architects before, and we've worked with other designers, and what sets you apart, Mitch, is that I feel like you've given us a voice. And when we work together, you're not using all these technical terms that make me feel alienated, but instead you are asking questions and listening and helping us figure out what our space might look like. And so it's a true collaboration. And it's so nice to hear someone else put it into their own words because of their experience in this process. I think about our process a lot, and Nancy and I talk about it and work on it. How can our process be purely motivated, and how can it be effective and clear, and how can we have integrity in how we approach design? And so it was so nice to hear her perspective. Today is our last day in sunny California, so I'm going to leave the guest house, cross the gravel drive to the main house, and we're going to work through more details as their design comes into focus. Here's the question for this week's episode. For you as a creative individual, are you creating for yourself? Do you have a potential buyer in mind? Are you creating for someone else who's hiring you, an individual? Is it society at large? Or is there another motivation altogether behind your creation? For whom do you create, and how does that shape your process? See you next week.